Hi everyone, Vince with Boomer Electronics here. Hope you're all having a good day. So today we have a couple of parts Game Gears. This is the Game Gear from the last video where there was quite a bit of damage to the board and it was having multiple issues. So I just decided it was better to just use this for parts instead of trying to fix it. I ended up taking the screen off it and put it on a Game Gear with a broken screen. Got that Game Gear working, so was handy in that regard. This is a board that I believe I worked on over 5 years ago. I kind of forgot about this. I just kind of found it one day going through some of my stuff. I don't really recall what was wrong with this. It's already been recapped. I can tell I recapped this a long time ago as well, just because this doesn't look like my current work. So I'm thinking I might be able to get this one working, possibly using parts from this. So maybe take two parts boards and get one working, one again. So I'm going to go ahead and try to attempt that. First thing I want to do is kind of power this one on, see what it does. As you can see, it doesn't have a backlight installed right now. Also, I took one of the fuses out of it at some point, so gonna have to get that addressed to get the screen working if we get that far. So let me go ahead and connect some stuff up here and plug this on. Oh, I see. Now that I'm looking at it, I see that apparently I took a connector off of this at some point. So I'm going to have to put this connector onto here. Where's the speaker? Oh, then the speaker cable. So I'm going to have to get a shell as well, because the shell has the speaker in it. Okay, I'm back. I got that connector soldered on here. I also put a jumper wire where this fuse should be, because I don't have any more of those fuses. If I get this working, I'll have to order one. I also noticed that the contrast wheel is off here. I actually do recall borrowing that for a different Game Gear at this point. I do have some new ones of those, so if I get this working, shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and connect this up a bit here. So got a working power board here and a working audio board here. Best case scenario, we'll just hear sound from the game playing. I have my doubts we will, for reasons I'll show you here in a moment. But let's make sure that's the case first. Okay, go ahead and do one of these. Yeah, so I got the power supply plugged in. Okay. Alright, let's get the game in and see what happens here. Oh wow. So this board's definitely alive. Interesting. Funny that this was in my scrap pile. Wow, that's unexpected. So you probably haven't been able to see it on camera, but I did kind of notice, just kind of doing a quick glance over the board, there is quite a bit of corrosion on this board. See if I can show you that on the camera a bit more clearly here. As you can see over in this area, let me see if I can get the focus. Yeah, there is quite a bit of corrosion from the old leaky capacitors, I'm assuming, especially over in this part of the board. I could see why I didn't get this fully working in the past. My skills and experience were not good enough back when I recapped this to get this going. But since this board is obviously has signs of life, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get it going, especially with the spare parts I have here. Alright, we're back together for testing here. You can see if the screen works now. So let me plug it in. Okay. Get the cartridge. And let's see what happens. I see the backlight, that's a good sign. Okay, we got audio. Pot on that needs cleaned, whatever. Let's see if we have video. Ooh, it doesn't look good. Here's the contrast wheel. Oh, we have no video at all. I wonder if this was the original problem with this thing. No video, and it looks like the middle chip on the screen might be going bad. It's not good. I should say there's 3 chips on these LCDs, and one of them is responsible for the middle portion of the screen. Like each of them does a third of the screen. It looks like the one responsible for the middle portion's going bad. With that said, I should still be seeing some gameplay on the screen. So I do want to investigate that further and then confirm that the issues with that chip on the screen after I get the display working. So I'm going to have to go under the microscope and check around, see if I could find anything else wrong with this. I was doing a bit more testing here. Right now I just have the motherboard and the power board hooked up, so I'll show you what it's doing. No cartridge is inserted. There it goes. So these are the 3 chips I was talking about. So this one's responsible for the left portion of the screen, the left third of it. This one is the middle third, this one's the right third. So if I push down on these a bit, you can kind of see these parts of the screen coming into life there. So this screen does indeed look shot. What's concerning to me though is I see these same line patterns regardless if there's a cartridge inserted or not. Usually when the screen starts to go like this, you'll at least be able to tell that the game's running, and you'll see you know, some different colors moving along in the screen. I'm not seeing that here. So although this screen is clearly shot, I'm kind of wondering if there's another issue with this board still, where the video logic isn't being received by the screen here. I'm really not sure. I'm kind of just trying to decide how to proceed. I do have an old spare screen that I believe works. I could swap it out, but if there is a logic issue here still, I would like to get that addressed as well. So I'm not sure how I'm going to proceed exactly. I'm just going to have to think that over. But yeah, just kind of an update with this. I was also having some issues with this not powering on consistently. I was doing some continuity checks across this cable and getting some pretty flaky readings. So looking at the cable here, you can see that it's pretty corroded. That second one from the left's a no connect, and that's what those pins should look like. Should be nice golden color. They're all like green and blue. So I'm gonna actually replace this cable from the one from my other parts board and get that addressed as well. I decided to show the screen swapping process and kind of go over the steps I take in case anyone else is interested in doing this. So I first come in with my hot air gun and warm up the ribbon cable for a minute or two at 150 degrees Celsius. The reason behind that is to melt the glue under the ribbon cable. These ribbons are both glued and soldered to the board, so I'm just trying to melt the glue there and make it easier to remove. I then come in with the soldering iron, and I'll slowly go along the cable, just heating up the soldering pads, trying to melt the solder under it, and gently, very gently lifting up with tweezers. I'm just trying my best to not damage these ribbon cables. So here's the replacement screen. I pulled this years ago. I didn't do a very good job removing it and wasn't as careful back then as I am now. So I'm kind of messing with the pins, just making sure they're all more or less aligned. So then the next step here is to align this, and I will align it, hold it in place with some tweezers, and tack each end into place. So I'm just trying to get the first end started here, just get it lined up. So yep, got it tacked in there. Then come over to the other end here, doing the same exact thing. And once I get that in place, I can come in with tweezers and a plastic spudger tool I use. So I'll just be holding pressure on the ribbon cable and then heating up the pads directly in front of the spudger. And the point of that is to prevent solder from pulling up underneath it to the best of my ability. And yeah, that's more or less the process. I'll go over it a few more times here, just trying to make it look a little better. But yeah, I'll just let the video continue from here. Got that screen replaced. Got it all assembled here to test out. Let's see what's going on now. Game's in. Lots of dead pixels on this screen. So I mean, this screen is also shot for different reasons. But it does not look like we have any gameplay. So that is 100% confirmed that there is another problem with this motherboard. Because even though we have dead pixels, 100% we should see some kind of gameplay on here. It's just not outputting anything. So I imagine it's going to be like the other one. If I turn this on without a game in, let me just pull the game out. If I turn this on without the game in, it's going to look exactly the same, right? Yeah, just a dead pixel screen. Okay, so we have another issue here. Either there's some more damage on the board that I haven't found yet, or one of these chips is failing. So that's where we're at with it. I was following some of the traces from the LCD, and I did stumble upon this area. As you can see, there is a pretty substantial amount of corrosion over here. I did test this out, did some continuity checks with my multimeter, and we do have continuity here despite this. So this itself isn't the issue, it looks like. I looked at the other side of the board, and not too surprisingly, this on the other side is where we had a bunch of corrosion and damage that I addressed the other day. So I'm thinking my next step here is going to be to remove all these capacitors over here, make sure there's no other damage on this side of the board, do some continuity checks with my multimeter, and see if we can find any broken traces or vias. I was checking out the Retro 6 wiki on Game Gears, trying to get some ideas on where to look. And they have a section for the LCD circuit. In here they have a few common failure points, which is very nice. So these are 2 points I can check. So I can check top of C38 to the top of D2 and the top of C37 to the left of C52. So I'll get you on the tripod here. Zoom down a bit. Alright, got the multimeter in continuity mode. Beep beep. Alright, so top of C38 to the top of D2. So C38 is this capacitor right here. D2 is this diode right here. So that checks out. C37 is actually this capacitor I have removed right now. So we'll check that pad. So top of C37 to the left of C52. C52 is this capacitor down here. And we get nothing. So on the same wiki there's a diagram that shows that this line is going through C53, C50, and then C52. So C53 is actually right next to it. And we're getting nothing there either. Then C52, sorry, C50. C50 is right here. Yeah, so it says this line passes through C50 as well. So let's check it out. So we do get continuity from here to over here. We're losing continuity between C50 and C53 and C52. I did trace this back a bit, and it looks like the issue is one of the vias over here that I had soldering mask over. Actually, it's gone. Yeah. So that looks like it's the issue. This via is just dead. So it looks like I'm just going to have to run a piece of 30 gauge Kanthal and get that via fixed, and we'll see how it looks after that. And then of course put the capacitors back into place, but hopeful that we'll get a positive result. Alright, got the trace fixed up. I would have liked to have showed me doing it on camera, but the person I share my workspace with was diagnosed with viral meningitis today, so I'm not too keen on hanging out in there longer than I have to. Anyway, I'll show the work and show that we have continuity now. So yeah, it's right there on this side. On this side, it's a little hidden, but it's right in front of this capacitor right there. Putting the continuity mode here. So now we're checking the top of the capacitor C37 and left of C52. So yeah, we have continuity there now. So that issue looks like it should be resolved. Let me put this together real quick, give it a quick test, see if we have any more signs of life. Let me actually pause this and turn the light off on the camera. So I was curious if the screen here was making a good connection. So I was doing some tests by pushing this ribbon cable down, and it's kind of hard to see on the camera here, but I can see the title screen for The Little Mermaid. Oh, there we go. So it looks like the screen just needs to be connected better. Would have to resolder it. I mean, the screen's obviously fried. It's dead pixel galore. I'm kind of tempted to actually just try putting the original screen back and see how it looks. But I'm thinking that this motherboard is repaired, minus the screen for now. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm not going to do it tonight. Tomorrow or maybe the next day, I will probably put the original screen back and see how it looks. I kind of was under the assumption that that screen was faulty. I'm not 100% sure it was. But yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. I'll put that back on, try it out, see how it looks. Good morning. It's the next day for me. Went ahead and soldered the original screen back on. Got it all hooked up, cartridge in. Let's see what happens. I'm 99% sure the screen is bad, but I want to make 100% sure. Well, game is playing. I'm just pushing down on here in case I got some bad connections. I'm not really seeing any change. I'm gonna set the camera up on the tripod and do this, make it easier on myself. Alright, got you all set up there. I mean, this is pretty close to what it was doing originally on the screen. Yeah. And just push down on the cable again here. I'm seeing like no signs of gameplay. Maybe something moved there. Okay. I am seeing slightly more signs of life than originally, which is just another indicator that the motherboard's fixed, but this screen is a dunzo and a half. The other one was definitely showed a lot more than this one. Okay, well, yeah, I'm happy. I'm 100% certain that this screen is also toast, just in a different way. So I got 2 trash screens. I do consider this a success. The motherboard is repaired. This is just a candidate for a new screen. I don't have any working screens here apparently. The 2 I have are no good. I might do a BenVen screen in it because I am curious to try out that HDMI output functionality that kid has. Might go ahead and shell out the money for that. I'll consider my options. I'm not going to do that in this video though. For now, this is where it stands. It's a working motherboard, bad screen, and the issues with it were there was a corroded via over here that got addressed. Once that was fixed, we did see some signs of life in the other screen. Other screen had dead pixels though, so it's pretty much no good. And then the other problem with it was the screen was also toast. So 2 issues with that, and this is why it's been sitting in my parts bin all these years apparently. It was because of those 2 issues. So good to know. I'll see what I'm going to do about this and possibly make another video on in the future. Hope you all learned something and take care.